Hello, I'm Tia Ramey. I'm a marketing and communications consultant here to give you tips and advice for how to strengthen your communications and leadership. Thank you so much for tuning in. A lot of my tips and strategies come from my book, Canceled: Mastering Difficult Conversations in a Modern World. You can get it from my website. The link is right there below. Feel free to click and take a look at what I have to offer. But today I really wanted to just talk to you about what does it look like when you're a person who wears many hats. If you are a leader, maybe you're a serial entrepreneur, you have a lot of endeavors and you're looking for ways to introduce who you are. And sometimes when you're a person who wears many hats, you've got many talents and skills and ways that you can connect with people, and different things you may do in the community. You're not always sure, like, what should I say? How should I be introducing myself to this particular group? And you don't want to say different things to different communities, so you have to take some time, sit back, and figure out what is the best way to describe who I am in a few words and get the point across so I do not sound like, for the lack of better words, a jack of all trades, master of none. And it's easy for people to think that way about you when you give them a list of all the things that you may do. Mind you, this is also a gig gen economy where people have more options and things that they can try than they ever have before. We have YouTube University, we have the internet, we have so many resources. So if we want to learn a different skill and we're in that particular place of figuring out the things that we enjoy, and maybe we've started some businesses from some of those things and we figured out how to monetize some of our talents and skills, and it's hard to know how should I be introducing myself so that I can leverage the opportunity to make connections that could be profitable for some of the endeavors that I have engaged in. So I have a little practice that I did that helped me out because I'm one of those people who wears many hats. I'm involved with so many different things, projects, companies, volunteer initiatives, and so many different people know me from some of the different spaces in life. I had to sit and kind of chart out all that I do and see it on paper and try to understand exactly what is my message. What is it that I'm trying to get across to the world and all the different things I'm doing? Now, in some instances, I had to figure out which of these things are long term, which of them are short term, because I think it's most important to know how to introduce yourself with your long term goals in mind and not necessarily your short term goals. That's just one tip. Think about who you are in the long term, what's going to benefit you in the long run, not just in this instance. So if you're going to a networking event, maybe you're going to a cocktail party or something, that would be a great opportunity for you to go around and pass out your business cards. You have to say, how should I be introducing myself so that I can forge the best possible business connection that can set me up for success in the future? So what I did is, this is my way, you can have your own way of doing it, is making this awesome list. I charted it out, all the projects that I'm involved in, and then all the different skills that I have to use of each of those projects. I did it based on the things that I may get paychecks for, some of my volunteer things, and then some of my hobbies. And I took a look at some of the common denominators of what I'm seeing trends of to decide what is my overall message. What I have decided is that I am Tia Ramey. I am a communications professional. My overall message is that I believe that great communications really does change the world. And that is a great trend for some of my clients and the projects that I take on at work. I work with a lot of outreach initiatives. Also, it matches my volunteerism and the things that I do. I contribute my communication skills to nonprofit organizations and some of the things that I believe in my endeavors and ventures. So I like to just say I'm a communications professional, I'm a communications consultant, and as you're talking to people, you may bring in some of those nuanced details that may fit or best fit the conversation, that they're like, oh wow, that's great, I didn't know you also did that. So find a way to take a look at the umbrella. Though you may do a lot of different things, there may be just that one high message that you have to think about. Go high, and you should be able to pitch who you are in about 30 seconds. And then as people want to learn more about what you do, you can talk to them about some of the nuances and details. But I know how tricky that can be when you're a serial entrepreneur. You have your hands on many different things. Maybe that one big word is that you're an investor. Maybe that one big word is that you are a philanthropist. Really think about what that is, that can sum up a lot of who you are. It may not totally embody everything that you may do for your community, for your work, but it may have a good idea that will at least lead you down the road where someone may want to ask for a little bit more. I hope this was very helpful, but for me, I know a lot of people love to do vision boards, but I can't really successfully map out a vision until I know where I am. And that exercise of listing everything that I do, all the skills that I have to use, helped me to see what the common denominators were. So I know what to say when I go to a networking event, when I go to fundraisers, or when I'm just out and I have my business cards. I even redeveloped my business cards as well as some of my marketing materials on my website based on my higher message, and not necessarily some of the smaller things that I may do that might even be temporary. And remember, lead with what your long-term goal is, not the short-term things that you may be taking advantage of. So when you make your list, think about what is long-term, what is short-term. What are some of the things that you hope you're still doing 10 years from now? And that can be a bigger question. And that's what you really want to lead with, is those things that are long-term, not the things in the short term. But those other things will find their place. They will fit. And if you want people to know what you do, there are wonderful resources for it. You can put that on your website, and that's why I tell people now, go to tiaramey.com, and that can connect them to some of the other projects that I'm working on that may be beneficial. So now you can see me as a teacher, as an educator, as a YouTube voice, as a podcaster, also as an author, as a consultant. So that is why I decided to go in that direction, because it really helped to embody all the things that I do, everything that I love, and all the nuanced ways that I like to serve my community. But thank you so much for joining. If you're looking for more communication tips and strategies, remember to please visit my website. That's where you can buy my book, Canceled, and learn more about how to connect with people in your circle, and also people who may be looking to connect with you and improve your marketing and communications. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you have a great afternoon.